And now the off season in Athens, but not a vacancy of items and topics to talk about, certainly concerning Georgia football. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the game we love with the best bloggers, broadcasters, and writers in the industry, including Palmer Thombs from Dogs 247 Sports. Palmer, we always appreciate you stopping by to break down the Dogs. How you doing today?
Doing well. Feel like I'm constantly trying to help break some news here with NFL draft decisions, transfer portal news, and such. So it's been a busy day covering the team in Athens, and just nice to get a little bit of a break and sit down and talk with you.
So we'll get on that in just a second, but why don't we put a wrap on what happened, of course, against Cincinnati at the Peach Bowl, a nip and tuck game that went right down to the wire and right down to a final kick, and then a safety, of course, to push it to 24-21, but a big win against Cincinnati for the Dogs.
Yeah, certainly an exciting way to bring in 2021 for Georgia fans and for college football fans in general. I mean, first game to kick off the year, and it certainly was an exciting one. Like you said, went down to the last second. Jack Podlesny makes a 53-yard field goal with 3 seconds remaining on the clock, longest field goal in Peach Bowl history, longest game-winning field goal in Georgia history since, I believe, 1980 something. So, it's been a while since Georgia fans have been on the right side of a close game like this. And, certainly was exciting for them, seeing the Dogs play in Atlanta, getting to see, some of those senior players and some of these guys that we're going to talk about, either, showcase what the potential is like for 2021 or get a, last chance to show out in front of their home fans. So, it was definitely an exciting game. JT Daniels goes 26 for 38, 392 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The thing that stands out about me to Daniels, about Daniels to me is, I'm sure we'll get into this later when we talk about his decision to come back to Georgia. But the thing that stands out is just the fact that he doesn't have to play perfect, and he looks pretty good doing so. He has had his ups and downs in these games that he's played in. 4 career starts now for Georgia, and he's looked pretty good in all 4 of them. Like I said, he's had his ups and downs, but for the most part, I think Georgia fans would be very happy with 392 yards. You look back at his Mississippi State performance, over 401 yards there. He's had big games. Georgia's offense has put up a lot of points with him, averaging over 35 points a game. And so, the interesting thing will be, and like I said, I'm sure we'll get into this talking about 2021, is seeing how Georgia can balance the run game with the pass game, because they had their struggles against Mississippi State, only ran for 8 yards there, and here against Cincinnati only ran for 45 on 24 carries. So, but it was certainly a big game for Georgia, and had several big plays. George Pickens and Arian Smith both with plays over 50 yards. Pickens gets over 100 yards for the second straight game, 3rd time in his career he did that. Big play from the defense late in the game. Azeez Ojulari comes up with 3 sacks in the 4th quarter and 1 defensive MVP in the game, and put the finishing touches on it with that sack in the end zone to bring it to 24-21. So certainly was an exciting finish to this crazy football season. And I know Georgia fans, having seen that performance and the way that this team has looked coming down the stretch, they're playing like one of the best teams in the country, and that's certainly the kind of momentum you want to roll into the new season with.
Yeah, Palmer, as you will know, because of the narrative that this coach and this team has placed itself in, to its credit, the expectations are so high, and because of the opponent that they did not choose, but still proved to be a very capable and quality opponent, Georgia basically couldn't win in this situation. They had to win the game, or they would have been just ridiculed beyond end for losing to a group of 5 team, regardless of how good they are. Number one, no score would have been too outlandish that they would have been expected to hit. So they're even gaining a bit of ridicule and criticism for scraping by with a win in what was a tremendous ball game. I think statistically you could see where Georgia separated themselves, but you could also see where Cincinnati would have done a few different things in terms of game management and clock management, could have been able to escape with a win as well. The other side of this is for the onlookers that saw Notre Dame get routed in the college football playoff. There was the eyes that looked toward Oklahoma and Georgia and Texas A&M and elsewhere to see who could have been a more worthy opponent for Alabama. And of course, Georgia was that opponent up until about 7-8 minutes left in the game in Tuscaloosa that was able to stand up to them. And then looking at JT Daniels thinking, wow, we wish we would have seen him against Florida and him against Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, that is entirely true, the narrative in Athens, that there's a lot of expectation that had JT Daniels played against Alabama, had he played against Florida, that this team probably wouldn't have been playing in the Peach Bowl. With a win over Florida, they would have had a chance at the SEC championship game and a second crack at the Tide. And I think that's, coming out of that Alabama game, I think that's what everyone wanted. The loss in Tuscaloosa, week 4, it's not that concerning. Obviously that there were ways that Georgia could have played better there, better quarterback play and such. But I think the turning point for this season was the loss to Florida. It, puts Georgia, behind the 8 ball, trying to play their way into the SEC championship game and needing help to do so. And so, I think, yes, you're right that, that the narrative is certainly, had Georgia had JT Daniels, this could have been a very entirely different scenario. And so I think, the way that they finished the season, like I said, they're playing like one of the best football teams in the country. I think you could have made a case that, like we talked about last time I was on, with a bigger playoff, expansion there, this team would have had a shot to put up a fight against an Alabama, an Ohio State, a Clemson, a Notre Dame, and down on the line. So I think, there's like I said, there's certainly a lot of excitement rolling into a new season.
Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the game we love, best discussion, debate, and analysis. That's our aim, our goal, our mission. Every day we're talking college football right here, so please lock it in. Smash that like button. That helps us build the channel, as well as share these videos out on social media. Not everyone knows that we're here. Go out on Facebook, Twitter, and please share the content. And of course, subscribe. Hit that bell for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live.